Online, for the past few days, I've been seeing an article circulating from Vice called "VTubing has an elephant in the room, bigotry." And there's a little update that was added on the 9th that says, "Since the publication of this article, harassment against me has become particularly egregious on Twitter. An anime-themed tea company told me to kill myself. A right-wing VTuber fan encouraged me to buy rope to hang myself." And this caused two things to spring to mind. Firstly, that's pretty mild on the scale of what people can do to you online. That kind of attack is very easy to counter. Simply don't do it, idiot. And secondly, I'm really not surprised, and my lack of surprise has nothing to do with the author's recent skirmish against Kirsche Verstahl, who, full disclosure, I use a voice clip of as a sub-alert on Twitch. No. The reason I will never be surprised that this person is receiving hatred is because the author in question is an individual who goes by Ana Valens. And I recognized that name immediately, because Ana is one of the most vile creatures to ever write about video games. Are any of you guys familiar with the classic British comedy show, Brass Eye? Way back in 2001, the Pedo-Geddon special was published, mocking news sensationalism and over-the-top hysteria about child safety. One of the bits in that episode was about a man who had hooked up a sex toy to a children's game, such that when a small dog is played with, he receives sexual pleasure.
This man has plugged his groin into his computer to get sexual pleasure from the actions of a child playing with Pantu.
So every time you kids tickle Panto, the paedophile gets his rocks off.
This was meant to be ridiculous and absurd, pointing to the way news media terrifies parents with outlandish coverage. But a couple decades after this episode aired, Ana Valens made it real. Do you remember Fall Guys? It's unlikely, but maybe you even still play it. I played a lot of it when it first came out, and all the while, as I streamed it, I was always hyper aware that this is a game clearly meant to appeal to children. Obviously, many adults, such as myself, played it, but a common gag would be, "Yeah, good job, you beat a bunch of preschoolers." Or if I lost, I'd be mocked for being destroyed by 5-year-olds. I tried to go for that 10-win streak achievement, but never got it, and my cope was, hey, I don't stand a chance. Most of the people who play it are kids who have nothing better to do all day, so of course they're better. There is no escaping or ignoring the child-friendly juvenile presentation. Still, I didn't let that stop me from playing and having a good wholesome time. But Ana Valens went a step further. Ana wrote an article for Daily Dot that is apparently no longer available except as an archive. The article in question was called "What Playing Fall Guys with a Sex Toy Means for Sex, Tech, and Consent in Games. Play is an erotic experience, and I'm having a blast." In this article, Valens recounts hooking a vibrator up to the game, such that it would pleasure them when other players interacted with their character. Brass Eye's Pedo-Geddon episode wasn't meant to be a set of suggestions, but apparently Ana didn't get that memo. In the interest of fairness, I will highlight that ethical concerns were raised in the article, though this section was severely lacking. Valens wrote, "There are, to be clear, an enormous number of ethical issues around inserting sex toys into your multiplayer games. During the stream, I didn't really think much about why I wanted to keep colliding against other contestants or grabbing them, let alone being grabbed. Then it dawned on me that I was engaging other players in an interaction that they hadn't actually been fully informed about. That's the in-game equivalent of hugging as many people as possible so you can feel your butt plug wiggle inside of you, which is not a great thing to do in public." This sparked a much larger question about whether Fall Guys is even an appropriate game to play with a sex toy at all. While I'm inclined to think passively playing the game with an Internet of Things sex toy isn't necessarily a problem, just as playing Overwatch with a dildo isn't, actively grabbing players and bumping into them is a huge no-go. Use the tech responsibly. So it's all cool so long as a child just incidentally triggers your vibrator. Forget ethics. For me, that near-guaranteed scenario in a game like Fall Guys, where its extreme appeal to a very young audience is absolutely unavoidable in every moment of play, is more than a bit of a turn-off. And if you can't intuit this issue, which is never raised once in the entire article, then you have pieces missing. Something is horribly, horribly wrong with you. And no apology or recognition of ethical issues surrounding consent can hide again that which you've revealed of yourself. I would also like to call into question the sincerity of the ethical concerns raised, as at the start of this article, the author promotes a video of them playing Fall Guys like this on their channel on a porn website. And though the video has now been removed, we can see in an archive that the video was 17 minutes long and was viewed thousands of times, with its description promising a full refined version on OnlyFans later. Yeah, you really thought what you were doing was totally wrong, didn't you? Let me quickly show you a picture of Ana from that article and ask you a question. What do you think Backlash for this was blamed on? I'll give you a moment to think. 3, 2, 1. Zineia Jones at the time wrote, "I don't give an F if someone wired up their vibrating butt plug to a video game. Y'all are just primed to see literally anything that trans women do as sexually predatory." Ana quote tweeted this and said, "Remember the Fall Guys controversy where I played Fall Guys with an external vibe and how mad everyone got? I just came across a cis girl recording herself having sex while playing Fall Guys. Her screen is in the recording and penetrative sex affects how she moves. No outrage. None. If your guess was transphobia, you get no points because it was obvious." I will never tell Ana to commit suicide because I don't think encouragement is necessary if self-awareness is ever developed. But I will provide another piece of advice. You, my friend, should not be getting involved in any internet fight over appropriate behavior. You should have crawled into a hole and never shown your face again, praying that someday your name will be forgotten, instead of, as you're doing now, trying to play some sort of reputation game. Is this the kind of person you want to work with? A content creator who sends journalists transphobic death threats? Oh my, a journalist! What are some articles you've written?